Good morning, everyone. It is day 5 of the Morning Magic Challenge. And you might think that it's over, but really it's only just begun. And I have some exciting news at the end of reviewing day 5, which is really reviewing the whole week. So if you're here live, let me know, say hello. If you are watching the replay, hashtag replay, and then comment along the way to let me know that you are here. I just want to make sure, there I am. If you are new to Facebook Lives with me, in the description of this live, there is a notice about I'm streaming not through Facebook Live, but through a secondary app. It's called Be Live, and I really enjoy that. But in order for me to see your face and your name without going over here and looking at what else is coming up, and half the time I can't see that, just click on that link once. And you can do that right now while you're listening to this, because then on the app you will show up not just as Facebook user, but as who you are. And the reason that happens is it has to do with Facebook terms and services and privacy. They're not allowed to give an app permission to use your name. So do that for us so that I can truly connect with you during the lives. So day 5 is all about prioritizing alignment. And I loved the image that went out in the um, email this morning with the crystal. And it's a selenite crystal that's straight up and pointed towards source and the universe. And really having that held close to your heart so that you can be aligned not just during morning magic time, but throughout the day. Because truly, the whole idea of morning magic is to allow greater ease and flow throughout your day. True? So that is something that I really, really, really am trying to kind of let you guys know about, which is I see some good mornings, but I do need to go. Hi, Donna. Um, that when we align and prioritize morning magic, it doesn't just have a nice way of waking up. You're waking up a little slower, a little bit more intentionally, but that ends up going throughout the day. When I began this, I used how you do anything is how you do everything. How you begin anything is how you go through anything. Right? So if you begin your day with prioritizing your own personal alignment with your truth, you're going to be able to go through the day living that truth more compassionately, more gracefully, with greater ease, so that you can start attracting more of what you truly desire in your life, right? So let's kind of just go back a little bit. Prioritizing alignment is really about making sure that morning magic is a priority to you. So we talked about on day 1, beginning before you begin. What are you doing to set yourself up for success the night before? And what are you doing when you first wake up that for when you go into that actual morning magic time where you're doing your creative alignment? You are beginning before that. And that's all about creating that morning mantra for yourself. I am wonderful. I am great. Today is going to be fantabulous. Or for myself, today, now is the time to rise and shine and make the day divinely mine, right? My grandmother's mantra to myself. So what is your morning mantra? And are you working on that? Have you created it? Does it fit? Does it need to be tweaked a little bit? Then we talked about mirror work. We most of us automatically rise and we go over into the bathroom and we do our basic things and splash in your face with some nice cool water to wake up, right? And look in the mirror and do your mirror work and get to the point where you can say, I love you. So what better way to start than letting your soul know that it loves this house and this being that you've chose to step into this world as, I love you. So we've done the morning mantra, the mirror work, and then we get into the actual creativity. Israel, you're so welcome for that. You're so welcome. It's my deepest pleasure, truly. We get into creativity, and creativity, as I was explaining, comes in two forms. It's really the activity and getting into a meditative state so that you can connect with that inner wisdom, whether that be adult coloring, mandala drawing, journaling, using oracle cards. I was doing in the membership program, I was doing our Friday morning oracle reading before hopping over here, doing oracle cards and getting into the messages, understanding your dreams from the night before, whether it's meditating, whether it's doing yoga, whatever that particular creative activity is that allows you to release the world and get into the soul space. That's the first thing about creativity. The second thing about creativity really is um, the creative visualization process, not only of, and we'll go deeper into this a little bit in a second, not only of what your morning magic time can be for you, but what are you creatively visualizing in your life for the rest of the day? Are you going into those meetings? Are you going into those meetings anticipating the worst, right? Or are you visualizing the best outcome? If you have to make a phone call, are you visualizing the best outcome? I had to make a phone call to a service provider yesterday, and I spent a lot of time because I had gone to like the highest level of the supervisor in this company to get some satisfaction. And I did the creative visualization beforehand. And while the result of what the service provider was going to do for me was not what I was creatively visualizing, I visualized being heard, being empowered, and truly speaking my truth and doing it compassionately. Right? Because when we're talking with service providers about a problem, our emotions can get elevated. And I have to say, I was really good, right? I didn't get the outcome that I was visualizing for the challenge, for the problem, but I got the outcome I was visualizing for myself. And I couldn't be more proud of myself for doing that. And that is what creative visualization can do for you. All right. So look at ways that you can daydream the best possible solutions when going into a meeting, making a phone call, connecting with a client, working with your children, having a conversation with a spouse, going and buying a house, the dream house. Do that creative visualization for yourself. It's very helpful for my work and service. Yay. Good, 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 good. So that's what we talked about on Wednesday. Then we talked about your spiritual support squad and calling them in, and particularly calling them in right before you start your morning magic time. If you're lighting a candle, you can call in the spirit of fire and the energy of source, right? Rise up, old flame, by thy light, calling. Show to us beauty, wisdom, and more. That's when I light a candle, I always say that to myself, whether it's subconscious now because I've been doing it since I was a teenager, or whether it's out loud. I do that. If I drink a sip of water, I call in the spirit of water to soothe my emotions as I'm sitting down at my altar. So you can do those calling in the spiritual support squad. The thing about all of these things in the Morning Magic Challenge are the more you do it during that concentrated time in the morning, the more it becomes a habit. And the more you will be doing it when you're driving a car. I call in my angels the second I turn on my ignition. The second I turn on my ignition, it's angels in front, angels behind, angels all around, let's go. Right? But I couldn't do that. I couldn't get into that habit until I had this habit in the morning of calling in my angels and calling in my soul support squad, whomever that may be for you. Right? We talked about 3 different categories, whether you're direct line to source, God, whatever you choose to nomenclature that entity for yourself. That's one avenue. The second is the support of the spirits, whether that's angels or a spirit that has transformed from this physical earth to the next realm. Those are a second category. And then the third category are your totems, right? Those animal totems, nature totems, the totems that help you understand those messages more, or who show up when you need that message, right? So those are ways to really prioritize. I'm going to come back in, make sure I'm saying hi. Hi, Veronica, Isra, Donna. Yeah, so we're prioritizing alignment. The next step, which was not in the email this morning, is I want you to get your calendar out right now. Like right at this moment, go look at your calendar for next week. When and where are you going to do your morning magic? What time and where? Because that's going to start you thinking about the beginning before you begin for the next week. We change the calendar tomorrow. It's February 1st. What better time to start activating these habits that you've begun to learn about this week, next week at the beginning of a new month, right? So that's the 5 days. So go get your calendars out and allow yourself to have that ability to really organize yourself and prioritize this alignment for yourself. Consistency brings things all together. You could not have said it any better. So could not have said that any better, Veronica. Again, I have to kind of go over to my phone to get who's talking, because in the app it doesn't have it unless you go to the description and hit that link so that your face can be shown in the app. Otherwise, it just says Facebook user, and I feel like I don't know who I'm talking with. So that's the morning challenge, but I can't just leave you off here. I cannot just leave you off here. 5 days, boom, go off into the world. What I'm going to do is the challenge this week was for yourself, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a contest for next week. And I'll give you a little inkling into what it's about. I'm going to create a checklist of all the possible ways you can create morning magic in your life. And whether that's a mantra, or whether you're remembering your dreams, or whether you're journaling, or whether you're activating abundance with whatever you do, or whether you're lighting a candle in the morning. And the checklist is going to be, I think there are 111 is what I was looking at with my team yesterday. 111 things on this checklist. And if everybody in this group, there are 400 of you, if everybody checks those things off, and then we get to a certain level of check off each day for the next week. So you come in and you say, I did 10, I did 11, I did 2, I did 1, I didn't get any done. I'll still applaud you, right? And if we add all of that up between Monday and Friday, the next week, I'm going to come back in and I'm going to do a webinar for this group. And the webinar is going to be Morning Magic from A to Z by Laura Clark. And I'm going to go through my entire process of what I do. I've given you lots of inklings, but I'm going to give you my entire process of what I do from the second I wake up to the second I leave, including giving a hug to my big guy as he walks out the door, including how I give Reiki to my dogs quickly, and show you that by creating the consistency, right, in the day, that I've been able to do everything that I've done in my life. So the contest is together, if we all do these things and we have a certain level of checklist checked off, I'll come back in and do that webinar for you too. So yeah, wow, right? It's all about having fun. It's all about having fun. We need to have fun doing this. Spirituality does not have to be all and there was a level of you have to be serious to be spiritual before. And you really don't. You have to take it seriously, but you can have so much fun while doing it. And, I was talking with a friend of mine. She goes, this is why I like you, Laura, because you're just snarky spiritual. You're just snarky spiritual, but that way things can come through. So Let me see. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any ahas they've gone through this week? Any additions they want to add in? Because I know you guys are so filled with a lot of. I know you're filled with love and light. Um, so that is the Morning Magic Challenge. That is what I'm going to be um, taking to the next level next week, is having you start implementing all of these things and putting them down, and do this for the weekend by looking at your calendar and saying, okay, when am I going to do? I do this every week. Morning magic time is going to be, you typically it's roughly around the same time my guy walks out of the house. It starts 10 minutes later. But on Thursday, I had to go take somebody to a they were getting an EEG, and I drove them to and from that. And I had to be out of my house at 6 o'clock to do that. So I couldn't do my typical morning magic time. I knew that a week beforehand, and I was able to reconfigure that time a little bit for myself. So that's what's so important about knowing the calendar and being a little structured in your spiritualness, right? Because yes, a lot of things come at us right away, the signs from the universe. Oh, there it is, there it is. But the universe also wants you to be structured too, so that you can step forward living your truth. And I am going to go step forward living my truth. I've got a client to support and love on, and get some ahas for and from and to them. So I hope that everybody has a fantabulous Friday. You'll be hearing more about the contest for next week over the weekend and as we start next Monday. And I hope that we can really, truly rock this big time for everybody to really use morning magic for greater ease and flow in your life. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Big loves. Bye.